Hello friends, welcome back to this tutorial series of Jetpack Compose, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about forms and inputs in Compose. So earlier throughout this tutorial series till now we have learned about the different types of layouts, the rows, columns. We have also learned about the state, lazy layouts as well, which helps us to arrange the layouts, arrange the views in the way we want. But in this tutorial, we'll be going to see about the text field, checkbox, radio buttons, which are used to take input from the user and process the data. So let's get started. So here I am in an Android Studio project and I have created a separate file named as forms demo. And here I have created a class forms demo. So in this, I'll be creating all these input fields. So let's create the first column here. I'll first create a composable function first here with the preview annotation with the forms practice. Okay, and here I'll first create a one column so that we should be able to put the text fields one after another. Here I'll assign it modifier equal to modifier dot fill max size. We need to import the modifier here from the Jetpack Compose, and yes, now in the column let me assign show background as true. Okay, now in the XML, if you have worked on the XML, then in XML we had that edit text, but in the Compose we have the similar that is called as a text field. So I'll just write it here text field, and this will come, and here it asks for two things. First one is a value. I'll assign it as empty at starting, and second is as a on value change. Okay, so let the rendering complete and we'll see a text field here. Yes, now we are seeing the default text field here. Now if I want to write something here, what I'll do, instead of just start interactive, I'll click on this run preview. So if I click on this run preview, then the specific composable will be launched on an emulator. So I am doing the same. I have this emulator. Okay, sorry, it was going to install on my device. Instead I'll launch it on my emulator. Okay, it has been launched, and yes, we can just click on this text field and I am trying to write. But even if I am trying to write, still the characters are not appearing here. So why is that? Because in the XML, if we compare this with the XML, then if we just put the text field like edit text layout here, then we should have been able to write these characters. But in the Compose, it doesn't work the same way. It works a bit different. So Compose gives us the power to handle all the state related changes all by ourselves. So if we are clicking on this one, then we have one this lambda here on value change. So this is getting triggered whenever we are typing this letter. But we need to update this value by taking some state, and the Compose will re-render this text field every time. So that we need to do in the Compose. So it gives us a flexibility but also a bit of responsibilities to do these things. So let me show you what we need to do. We need to take one state, and we have already saw how the states work. If you don't have any idea about the state, then I'll put the link of that specific tutorial, or specifically tutorial series, in the description box itself. So please check it out if you don't know. So I just write where name by remember, and we'll just write new table state of, it will be empty at the starting. So if we are using the remember, then we need to import, and as always the import doesn't work, so we just need to hit with a star. So it will start looking, sorry, input state of, not input state of. Okay, now I'll assign this name here, and whenever we'll write something, we want to update this name. And how we'll update it in this lambda, and we'll update with this it, and because this value gives us a lambda of the updated value which we have entered. So if we hover on this one, this it is also a string which we get after typing. So whatever we have typed in the edit text, so I mean text field, then it will be assigned it at the runtime. And now if we did the same thing, we relaunch the application and see, we'll be able to write in the text field. Yes, now it's working. So this is the typical behavior of the text field whenever you want to implement it in your own application with the compose. So we also have some attributes for the designing, but we will not going much depth in this tutorial. So I'll just write a placeholder. So we were using hint in the XML. Here we have a placeholder. You can just write name, and what happened? I missed something. Placeholder. So it needs a composable. So I'll just write text as a name. So you will see name will appear here as a placeholder. Okay. So I'll take another text field for email, and the third one will take for the password. And of course I need to create different states for each of the edit text. I mean text field, email, and similarly for the password. Okay, its value is email, and I'll assign the value to email. Here I'll change it to password. Okay, everything for this text field will work at the same, but if we want the password like behavior for this text field, we have an attribute that is visual transformation, and we have password visual transformation. We just need to assign the instance of this one, so that whenever we'll type the characters in this password field, then it will be automatically appear as a star or dots. So here I'll write my name. Okay, anything, right? And here if I type something, anything, then it will come as a dot. So this behavior we are getting with this visual transformation. So this is about the text fields. Now I also want to show a few more things which can take input or interact with the user. So first one is a checkbox. So checkbox is a pretty much easy to implement. It asks for value. I mean check state. So it also asks for a state. So let's create another state for this checkbox as well. For the checkbox, we can say terms and condition TNC. Okay, and it will be a boolean, so it will have a value as a false at the starting, and we can assign that value TNC here. Okay, another one is unchecked change. If we check that checkbox, check or uncheck, then what will happen? We have the control will come here, and we can write the code what will happen after that check or uncheck event. So what I'll do, I'll just change the state here, tnc equal to 8. Whatever that comes from here, then I will just assign it. If we hover on this 8, then it will be a boolean. So, and you can see the checkbox has appeared here. So if I just start an interactive mode here itself, then you can see we are able to check and uncheck this box. So checkbox is pretty simple. Now we'll implement one, that is a switch. So that is also easy. So it also has a check. I'll create a separate state for that as well. checked, let's say disability. I'll keep it as a false. It will also be boolean disability, and it also have this method on checked change, and we'll do the same thing, disability equal to it. Okay, and whatever the value we are going to interact with this will be saved in this state we have declared above, and then we can use the state to show a message, or we'll do that later. Now the one field that I wanted to discuss that is remaining is a checkbox. Sorry, not checkbox, it's a radio button. So for the radio button, it has a multiple option, and we out of that we are able to select only the one option. So for that, we first need a list of the probable options. So let's say we have to add a gender selection in this some form. So we'll write val gender options equal to, and it will be a list of, let's say, female first, just my small gesture to respect women, then male, and others. Yes, we have this list, and we'll apply a loop so that composables will be run thrice. So gender options dot for each, and here we'll get a gender. Okay, and we'll also need to take separate state for this one as well to save the selected gender. Selected gender. It will be uh, let's keep it. It will be of whatever the element we have first in the list. So gender options of the first. So first we'll have here, so that female will be by default selected the first. And here the radio button will only be shown, and we need to take a separate text composable to show in front of that radio button. So I'll first take a row for that, because you wanted to show them side by side. Let's import the row, and here I'll assign it a modifier. So to modifier dot fill max width. Okay, and here I'll first take one radio button. In this radio button, this also has selected. So we have an option to select it. So what will come as selected as a selected gender? That one is on click. This is the compulsory item. Okay, this is a boolean. Selected gender we can directly assign to it. If the selected gender is equal to gender, then we'll give it a value if it is selected or not. So accordingly, this will appear. On the on click of this one, what we want to do, we want to assign the selected gender to the current value. So I'll do the same, selected gender to this current value. Okay, and then I'll just take one composable here, and in that I'll just pass the gender, because we don't need to do heavy operations, because we are already iterating on this list, and we are already getting the respective gender. And if you see on the right side, then you are able to see the preview as well. Just the way you expect, but just the alignment is not good. So we'll fix that. In this row, I'll make vertical alignment dot center vertically, and you will see they will come in a correct way. Yeah, now it's looking good. And if I just started the interactive mode, then you can see I'll be able to check on this one. Okay, and but if you need to click on this specific radio button itself. If you click here, then it won't work. So for that, if we want to work that as well, then we want to we want to make this row as a selectable, and we can do that with the modifier. So let me show you by doing that as well. Dot selectable, and in the selectable we have some properties, that is selected and on click. So we can just copy the selected and on click. So on this on click, we can just copy the same code. The rendering complete, and now you can see, if even if I have clicked here, then the we are able to select the respective radio button. So that's about the all input options, the the ones which you will require the most. Now I wanted to show you one thing that will improve your user experience. So let me just try running this again on the emulator and show you how we can improve the UX and what the minor problem we have now with the current implementation. If I just click on this one name, okay, I'll enter my name. After that, I have this enter button here. If I click enter here, then it goes as a multi-line text. Okay, and the name doesn't need to be multi-line. Okay, instead, okay, but we can make it as a single line. So no issues with that. Then I need to fill an email. So I'll just click on this email again and will fill my email. Again, I had to click on this next field, explicitly password. I'll just fill my password. Instead, you must have seen some applications that the keyboard gets open and you write something here and you get some next button here itself in place of this enter, and on clicking on which you you are automatically redirected to the next field. So if you want such functionality, then it's easy in Compose, and I highly recommend you to use it to do such a functionality, such a good user experience while working with the Compose. So let's see how we can implement that. We'll first go to this text field. Okay, so all these things we were talking about, that is about the keyboard. So we have these keyboard options, keyboard options. Here we have something called as a IME action, and we can set this IME action dot next, done, go, none, or set. We can just click on this next if we want to proceed the user to the next field after filling this field. So that's what we want. We have other options as well, like done. If we are done with all the text field and this is the last text field, then we can just click on done, and then the right check mark will come here, and on clicking on this one, the keyboard will be get hidden. So this type of things we can do. Currently I'll just click on this next, and what will happen when the user will click on this next, if you want to handle that explicitly, then also we have a choice to implement that. So that is a keyboard action. So that's why we have attribute called as keyboard actions, and we have one class composable here, keyboard actions as well. And here we can handle those specific actions. So here we have one lambda function, that is a on next. We have on next, on done, on next, on search, on send, go, various type of function. Currently we need the on next because we need to handle the action when the user click on this next button. So on the next, we want the user to navigate to the further text field. So how, if we want to handle that, then there is a one thing called as a focus manager that helps us to achieve this. So let's make it, well, focus manager equal to focus manager dot local focus manager dot correct. So This can be a global because only one text field will be in focus for any specific instance. And here you can just write focus manager dot move focus. We want to move the focus where it asks for a focus direction. Okay, you want to move the focus, but where? So we have some options like a focus direction dot down is the most preferable, but we have other as well: down, next, up, exit, left, right, previous, all these actions. Let's say we are okay, we have here an form in a column, so that's why the text fields are arranged one after the another. But if we want we can also make some forms are like just they have a two columns in single row, and we can also have two text fields side by side. So in that case we want the focus to move towards the right, so we can just use the right option here. So when the user clicks on the next, the control will go towards the focus will shift towards the right. So this way we can handle that. And we'll just copy this same thing for the email text field as well. Yeah, we need to apply this specifically for the each and every field. And next we'll again copy this for this password as well. But in case of password, there are no longer text fields here. Here there are options, but for these options we no longer need a keyboard, so we want to hide that and unclick. So here what we can do is we can make it action as a done instead of next. And here instead of move focus, what we want to clear this focus, so that the keyboard should be dismissed because we don't need it further. So these are the point we need to change this on next with the on done. Okay, now let me relaunch the application and check how the UX has been improved. Okay, now do this one first. I just click on this name. I'll enter something, and you can see here we have a button as a next here. So I just click on this one. So we have it automatically navigated to the next field, and I'll just enter my password. And again we have a next button. I just click on this one, and I'll enter my password. And if you notice, then there is no longer next button here, but there is a done button because we have handled the action as a done here. So there is a check my button, and if I click on this one, then the keyboard gets dismissed. So this is a pretty much good user experience we can provide to our end user while using our application. So we'll all fill this, and we'll check uncheck this all these fields. We'll select the gender, and we need one button to submit this form. So let's create the button here at the end. So button is not a new thing to us, and we need an on click here in the, we'll name it as a submit form. In this on click, if we click on this one on in this on click, let me just log this all entries. um, Form, yeah, form, and let me name, that is a name here, name, email, then what we have, password. Yeah, we don't generally show the password, we keep it as plain text, but that's not the purpose of this tutorial. Then tnc, right, tnc, we will get true false here. Then we have the disability section, disability, then gender, selected gender, and yeah, that's it. So on clicking on this button, we'll be submitting the form. And let me relaunch the application. Also, I want to open the locket, and here I just filter it with a form. Okay, I need some other. Okay, here I just write my name, Ashish, A-S-H, Ashish. Not a correct spelling though. It hasn't suggested me the right spelling, and it gets very difficult to write to the virtual keyboard. I'll just write A at the rate something dot something. Okay, and the password. Okay. In the password, I'll just write 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay, actually I haven't used this UX we have made. Okay, I'll just click on this next, and just click on this next, and I'll just click on this done, and I'll agree to these terms and conditions, and I don't have any disabled, so I'll keep it as false, and I'll save it change as mail, and I click on the submit form. So I just click on the submit form, and then you can see all the details we have here: name, email, password, terms and condition as a true because we have checked that, disabled as a false because we have kept the switch off, and gender as male, and that's the all information we have. So this is how we can create a good UX and good form and take an input from the user. So of course it is not looking that much good, but we can improve the UI. But that was not a focus of this tutorial. It was the focus emphasis was on how we can take the input from the user. So there are some options of the text field, like we can change the design. If you have the text field, then we also have the outlined text field, so which changes the way it looks. Yeah, it looks this way. It looks this way, like material design has these two things, outline text and this field text. So we can use this one as well. It has the same thing, same attributes, no need to change anything. So that's it about this tutorial. Now, hope you have clear understanding about how to take the input from the user in these multiple forms. So that was the emphasis of this tutorial. And if you still have some doubts or queries, then you can put your questions in the comment box below. I will try my best to answer those. If you like this video, then please click on like, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you will be stay updated whenever a new video is published. Alternatively, if you want to stay informed about the new videos, and if you have some queries which you want to be addressed, then you can also join a dedicated group for this discussion of the Ashish Mobile Dev. You will find the link in the description box itself. We will meet in the next tutorial with some other interesting topic. Till then, goodbye.